Hey guys, and right off the bat, I'm waving the you might be offended flag because today I'm going to talk about to spank or not to spank. And my little disclaimer right up front, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not bragging. But I'm none of the above. What I'm going to tell you and what I'm going to talk about are life experiences. My children are 24, 27, 17, and 15. And I want to tell you, I grew up in an era where I was raised by the state of Louisiana. I grew up in the group homes. And by the time I was in the foster care system, they were no longer called orphanages, people. And they were called group homes in the late 70s all the way through the 90s. So and we got spanked. The staff members of the group homes, they spanked us, and that was what I grew up under is a good old fashioned ass whooping. And that's what my children grew up under. It was a good old-fashioned ass whooping. And at no point do I want any of you people to ever think that I advocate for child abuse or child endangerment or any of that. I do believe a child has the right to express themselves and be who they are within a well-respected boundary. I do not now, and I have said this before, I do not now, nor will I ever believe that my children are an extension of me. They are not. Just as I am not an extension of whoever the hell gave birth to me. I am my own person, and my children are as such. And what they do is not a reflection on me. Now, in some sense, it may be a reflection of the lessons I've given them over the years. But here is the first and foremost lesson that all children should be taught. And then anything after that is on them, not you. A child must be taught from very young. And I mean, I'm talking from maybe a year on. Right from wrong. If you can go to a 2-year-old and go, "Did you take that cookie?" And they're hiding it behind their back or hiding it in their hand, going, "No." Guess what? You've done an excellent job. Because they know it's wrong. That's why they're hiding it. They're lying. And that's another issue you will have to address. But they're showing you that they know right from wrong. If you walked up to them and said, "Did you take that cookie?" and they were, "Yep, I sure did," you failed. Because their straightforward, candid honesty is not telling you that you taught them to be honest, because, kids at that age, they just don't want to get in trouble. So they're going to hide the cookie and go, "No." If you taught them right from wrong. And wrong tells them at their very tender age of 2 that, yes, I took the cookie and I'm about to be in trouble. Hide the cookie. So that means they know they did wrong. And let me tell you something, guys. We don't teach our kids to lie. They will lie by nature. Because, and all Christians know this. It is human nature to lie. So if your kids lie to you, don't get bent out of shape. All kids lie. However, it is our job to teach them when it is appropriate and when it is not. Because we all know most parents lie to their kids. Hello, Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny. So let's not act like we don't lie to them. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't fill my kid's head full of that crap. I just didn't. But that's another video. My kids did not do, now don't get me wrong, they did the holidays and they loved it. Oh my gosh. We love doing Easter eggs still to this day. I do Easter eggs with my two oldest boys, and I'll go hide them. And my neighbors have two little kids, and we love to let them run over there, run around our yard, and we have conjoining front yards. So, we'll hide some in their yard, some in our yard, and the kids across the street will come look for them. And I have a blast because I will get the big crates of eggs. And anyways, I'm getting off the subject, I know, because I'm so excited about, this is what I'm telling you. We never had to fill our kids' head full of, there's an Easter Bunny, there's a Tooth Fairy, because my kids got money. When they lost a tooth, they knew it came from me. So they experienced all the things that other kids experienced. They just didn't experience the lie with it. But anyway, back on topic is, guys, look, at no time do I ever stand for or advocate for bashing, beating, neglecting of anyone, let alone a child. But I will tell you that I did spank my children. Now, I never put my hands on my children in anger or frustration. Never. And my kids will tell you the worst thing about me was knowing I was going to spank you. Because I would tell my children, go to your room, it's coming. And they would go in this way and I would go this way. And I tell you what, there were times I didn't even go back to spank them. I just, I knew that sitting there thinking that it was coming was enough. And there were a couple of times over the years that, yes, I did go back and spank their butt, just depending on the severity of what they had done. And honestly, I can honestly say that in the moment when you and the child are having a heated argument or discussion or disagreement, whatever it is you want to call it, it is never a good thing for either one of you to degrade. I never degraded my children, ever. Never. Never call your children out of their name. That's ignorant, and it's stooping below their level. I would say you're stooping to their level, to a childish level, but you're stooping below their level. Never call your children out of their name. Don't do it. And never, ever, ever put your hands on your children to satisfy someone else. Never discipline your children to satisfy someone else, because I've had that done. I used to have a neighbor, and I'm not going to call her name, but she would come to me and tell me my daughter was beating up her son. And if she ever sees this video, she'll know who I'm talking about. But anyway, my daughter was beating up her son, and the little boy was 2 years older than my daughter, and he had no home training. And he stood over the balcony one day and he spit on my daughter, and my daughter beat the crap out of him. Yes, she did. And the woman brought her son to my house and asked me, first off, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've got 2 sons, and guess what? I'm not bringing either one of them to your house to ask you to have your daughter, daughter, to stop beating on my son. I'm not going to do it because I would be too embarrassed. I would be completely embarrassed to tell you that your daughter, who is 2 years younger and probably 4 inches shorter than my son, is beating him up. But that's a whole nother video. But this woman would bring her son to my door, and she thought I was supposed to stand there and chastise and correct my daughter in front of her. And I didn't, and I never would, and I have no need. I have no need to discipline my children to your satisfaction. I have no need to discipline, educate, raise, or anything else my children to your satisfaction. I don't. And again, waving the offended flag, because people, let me tell you something. You may not get this, but I do. Children work at their own pace. Some children will respond to a spanking and some won't. And let me tell you, because I did say that I spanked my children over the years. Yes, I did. Here's the thing. With my daughters, who are now 24 and 27 and have their own families and are living their own lives, and they both were homeschooled, and they both have GEDs, and they both have jobs now. One's running a home-based business the same way I am, and the other one works for the man. So, and they both have children. They both actually have 2 children. My youngest, 24, has a son and a daughter. And then my oldest is 27, and she has 2 sons. And they're well-rounded human beings, productive members of society, and they are doing as they should be doing and is expected of them. So with that, there's not an issue or a problem. Spanking a child is not the end of the world. Beating a child is an issue. I can tell you, for me, the first time I ever spanked my children, they were 4. The last time I spanked them, they were 9. I do not believe a pre-pubescent or a child in puberty or a teenager should be spanked for physical reasons. At that point, it's like spanking an adult, and if you haven't gotten if you haven't got parental control by then, you're not going to. And threats of spanking or hitting or hurting, you might as well give it up, because at that point, it's lost. Spanking should never be a first option, and it never was for me. It was always something that I highly considered. And like I said, there were many times in which it got to a point over the years that I could tell my child, go to your room, it's coming. And just let them sit there and stew in the thought of, oh, crap, it's coming. And that was enough punishment to get to them, and my point was proven, and we moved on, and the majority of the time they did not get a spanking. I can honestly say, with my oldest, she probably got her butt spanked maybe 4 to 5 times in her entire childhood between the ages of 5 and 10, maybe 4 times. Now, my youngest, and again, my oldest is now 27, my youngest daughter is 24, and she might have got the same. She might have got spanked about 4 times between the ages of 4 and 10. Now, my boys, here's the thing about secondary children. They will watch very closely what's going on with the oldest, and they will see, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If mama says it, we in trouble. Set that example. I can honestly say with my boys, between the ages of 4 and 7, I think my youngest son might have got spanked twice, and my oldest maybe twice. Again, guys, when you do use spanking as an option, it should be something that's considered very back burner. It should always be something that the child knows this is a possibility, but not always gonna happen. We went through many different things as far as we would take things, we would ground, and now that they're older, I tell you what, a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old I am not going to spank for physical reasons, guys. I mean, it's just, once a child hits a puberty and their body starts going through changes, you don't want to smack them on the butt with a belt, because it gets to a point where it's weird. And you don't want to do that. I mean, their body is changing, their hormones are changing, and you don't want to accidentally smack them and hurt anything. So yeah, when your child is pre-adolescent, preteen, like I said, between the ages of 4 and at the latest 10, once your child is 11, 12, definitely. No. I do not advocate spanking at 12, 13, 14. No. Like I said, for me and my household, between the ages of 4 and 10, we did use the method of spanking. And sometimes, spanking in my household could have been a wooden spoon on the hand. And I was one of those 3 licks and I'm done, because I'm not going to stand here and my kids knew that. My kids knew that if they were going to get spanked, it was 3 licks and we're done. And when I say done, I mean it's done. We are not going to harp on it. I'm not going to throw it up in your face again. We're not going to talk about it unless you choose to. And the only way we're going to talk about it is how do we rectify or make right what happened. Other than that, let's move on. Okay, this happened. Here's your consequences. Let's move on. And that was the approach we took to it. And again, like I said, I believe my girls between the ages of 4 and 10 might have gotten spanked all of 4 times in their life, and the boys maybe 2. It was not a first thing all day, every day. That was my first reaction. Oh my God, let's go beat them. It was no, it was not. And to this day, I can tell you I have very well-mannered, very well-rounded children. And again, guys, you don't, and I don't care what kind of discipline you use, whether, I'm offending you by saying I spank my children or not. I don't care if you spank your children or don't spank your children. Whatever form of discipline you use, 2 things you never want to do. You never want to humiliate your child with any form of discipline. And you never want to go to their place of socialization to enforce any discipline. And if you're forced to, be very careful about it. Because I tell you what, even teenagers are very impressionable. I know they tell you small kids are impressionable. Well, teenagers are too. And the things that we do and say to our children can last a lifetime. And the things that we don't do or say can last a lifetime. So you have to be very, very careful. I never go to my children's places of socialization, the park, the Y, wherever else they go with their friends, to their friends, to tell my children that they're grounded or in trouble or whatever. I will text them on the phone and tell them to come home and we'll talk about it. And I never, when their friends are here at my house, discuss punishments or, consequences, because you just don't do that. You don't embarrass them in front of their friends. But, so anyway, that's my thought for today. Feel free to comment below, because I was a spanker, and I still am a spanker today. I've got, like I said, 4 grandkids, and if they need one, it's laid out there that, this can happen. But anyway, that's just the era I was raised in. And it is what it is. And again, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up with, look, I don't advocate for child abuse. And if you see a child in trouble, stand up for that child. Speak up for that child. But other than that, if you see a parent raising their child, look, butt the hell out. Because I'm going to tell you like this. When I'm done with my child, they become your problem. And you're like, what? What the hell is she talking about? Well, you're part of society, right? And so my son is 17. And in a few short months, he'll be 18. And at that point, he becomes society, yours problem. Because then, if I haven't done my job, and he becomes not a productive member of society, then let me tell you, you're paying for his trip to jail. So think about it like this. You're paying for his free hot and his free cot at jail. And from what I understand, they have some damn good coffee and free cable. So you're paying for that too. So if you see a parent raising their child, butt the hell out and let them do their job. But if you see a parent abusing their child, and I would hope you would know the difference, then step up. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up because I think I've said enough with, you can find me all over the web, guys. And feel free to check me out for the holidays at Crafting with Six, because I'm also on another YouTube channel, Crafting with Six, where I'm making all kinds of things, guys. And if you're going to have those grandkids over and you want to keep them busy so you don't have to spank them, then you're going to want to have some crafting ideas, and you're going to want to keep them busy. So look me up, guys. Thumbs up it, thumbs down it. Give me your opinion. Tell me how you were raised. Tell me how you weren't raised. I don't know, maybe some of you were raised by wolves, because I wonder when I go to Walmart. Anyways, guys, have a great day, and look, seriously, if you see a child being abused, not spanked, abused, step up, do your part, and advocate for that child. Other than that, butt out and let that parent do their job. Have a good one, guys.